It's the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. It's Late Show. It's Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Your host. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm your host, Stephen Colbert, and welcome to the Late Show. So today, we're going to be interviewing Edmund McCann as he talks about Trump. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I just wanted to point out I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about Nelson Mandela. You disappoint me. Well, thanks, Stephen Colbert, for that death-like stare into my soul, and for saying you're disappointed in me. Thanks. Well, like you just heard, today I want to talk about Nelson Mandela. I assume you all know who he is, but let's get into some information. So, let's start from the beginning. Nelson Mandela was born July 18, 1918, to the Thembu chief family, or royal family, you could say, in the village of Mvezu. He studied law at the University of Fort Hare and the University of Witwatersrand. You definitely pronounced that wrong. And when I'm bored, are we just going to talk about his childhood and early life? No, that was just some information to just give you guys some background on him. So, how did he find out about apartheid for the first time? In 1941, during a break in college, Nelson went to Johannesburg, and there, for the first time, he was met with the harsh reality of segregation in South Africa. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. When did he join the ANC? He joined the ANC in 1944 and started the Youth League, and at that time he married his first wife, Evelyn. That was also the time that the National Party came to power, and they were the ones that built up and enforced the apartheid laws. The effect of that happening was that now the ANC in 1952 had started their peaceful protesting, and they traveled South Africa, including Nelson. It's so brave to give up so much for a good movement, especially at his age. And just out of curiosity, yes, amazing and beautiful Stephen Colbert, I was wondering, when did the National Party start the apartheid laws? Oh, sorry for not mentioning that. They started that in 1952, I believe. Something that is super interesting, by the way, is that at the same time, he and a friend named Oliver Tambo set up a law firm that specialized in serving the black population of South Africa and defending them from racist apartheid laws. It seems that around that time, everything was successful. Stephen, you soap dispenser, you didn't let me finish. In 1960, the South African government outlawed the ANC, keeping them from basically doing anything at all. You hurt my feelings. Calling me a soap dispenser really makes me sad. Sorry, Stephen Colbert. I heard that there was a violent underground branch of the ANC. When was that created? It was because of Sharpeville Massacre in March of 1960, where men, women, and children were murdered. After that, Nelson Mandela realized that his current method wasn't working out too well. Yeah, no poop. So he started an armed branch of the ANC, but Nelson made sure not to hurt anybody, mostly just property, such as putting bombs in buildings, making sure that he only had to blow them up when nobody was there, because the last thing he wants is for somebody to get hurt or potentially die. I think you've heard enough about the ANC and Nelson Mandela. Let's learn about his term in presidency. In 1962, he was classified as a terrorist and was arrested, where he stayed there for life until then current president of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk, who released Nelson after being in prison for 27 years. When he was released, him and F.W. Klerk worked to put an end to apartheid laws, and once F.W. de Klerk left office, Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa, in which he ran for 5 years. Looks like we might be running out of time soon. So how about you give us some quick highlights of his presidential term? Okay, in 1994, his most famous book, The Long Walk to Freedom, was published. He actually, believe it or not, worked on it during prison, but it didn't get released until 1994. One big thing that was the main goal of his presidential term was improving South Africa's economy, such as RDP, was the policy he set up that used many different ways to make South Africa a country loved by everybody and welcomed everybody. And one way was through sports. In 1995, they hosted the Rugby World Cup, which was the first time that any sport has been hosted in South Africa. In 1996, Mandela set up a strong central government based on majority vote. Also in 1996, the gear policy was made, which was made to support the dying economy of South Africa. That movement also increased the GDP of South Africa. And in 1998, they bought a fighter jet from Sweden. I don't know why specifically from Sweden, but that's just what it was. Because while apartheid was in place, the security and just overall defense system was low and poor. In 1999, after he retired, he was called on to make peace between South Africa and other such countries, such as Burundi. Well, countries and areas, that is, such as Burundi. He also went on to make children's charities. Just to put it all in simple words, in a nutshell, I guess you could say, Stephen Colbert, was that he mostly worked to make South Africa a happy, joyous country with a better economy, no segregation, and just having an overall quality of life there. Well, thanks for being with us today. Touch my hair. I feel like I've been assaulted. Make sure to go eat at Subway. That's pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to levitate into the floor now. Goodbye, everybody. Yeah, bye. Bye, Stephen Glover. Bye. I guess I should go now.